Hi, welcome to the Sifu Mimi Chan Show. Thanks for joining the conversation. Matt Fraction is known for his incredible work on titles like Hawkeye and Sex Criminals, but today we talk about his new acclaimed Batman run with Jorge Jimenez. It's always fun to catch up with Matt. I'm especially grateful to hear he's back to full health after a scary brush with COVID and hospitalization. We also discuss life changes at 50, and I am so energized by his joy for writing. If you haven't started the Batman comic yet, do not delay. It is stellar. You can also catch up on his ongoing comic Adventure Man with Terry Dodson. I am so grateful to share these conversations with friends like Matt and would love to continue this journey. My favor, as usual, is to please continue to share this podcast with others. It would also mean so much if you would rate it and leave me feedback. If you would like to help keep this podcast going and become a patron of the show, visit my website or patreon.com/SifuMimiChan. Thank you so much for the support. For comments or suggestions, reach out on social media at SifuMimiChan. Now, on with the show. Hello, Matt. Good to see you.
Hey, Mimi, how you been?
I miss you. It's been forever.
It has been. It has been. It seems like the last time we spoke, it was after maybe Batman had been announced. I feel like we had a Batman conversation last time, right?
Yes, I think it was like the very early stages. But the thing is, I was like, well, I was just in Portland last year. And I was like, no, it was like 2 years ago. So it's just kind of crazy how 1 year, 2 years goes by so quickly. And then, of course, I talked to the lovely Kelly Sue a couple months ago. And I was like, you know what? I need to catch up with Matt.
No, it's perfect. It's great. And I mean, I think COVID maybe did everybody's head in, and just in terms of how time passes, but also just getting older. I just turned 50. I turned 50.
I know.
And
I
that
texted you.
You did. No, but like but like I freaked out at 25.
Okay.
30 was fine, 40 was fine.
Okay.
And I didn't like freak out at 50, but like I was aware of my age all of last year in a way that I normally aren't. I'm literally during my 30s and 40s, if people asked me how old I was, I would have to think about it.
Right. The numbers, like, is it 37, 38? Yeah, I get it.
No, I just was never like that consciously in my body, or at least in my age or whatever. So something about 50 though, like all year has been looking at measurements of other things that were 50. William Holden turned 50 years old while filming The Wild Bunch. I would humbly suggest that this is a much different 50 than William Holden and The Wild Bunch. But like in my head, that was always, I mean, that was the movie about the old cowboys.
Yeah, it's like
who can barely stay on the horses anymore. They're so antiquated and done with, lost and out of sync with the times. And they go on one last, that was always the like measurement. Well, that's old. William Holden and The Wild Bunch is old.
Right. And you're there now. You're the cowboy now.
Yeah, now I'm being the cowboy, man.
But you are very much fine. You're riding that horse. You're trucking along. You're more creative than ever. So I think it doesn't apply to you.
I mean, sort of like interestingly enough, like I was in the hospital for the first time ever this year. Like I've been in
I
the
saw
hospital.
that and I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, like
is
so
it pneumonia or
I finally got COVID.
Okay.
Which I had dodged, and I had just started to think like, they should study me.
Yeah.
I'm
immune.
I'm the unicorn, right? Like I'm one of those people. I knew another couple people who have sort of dodged it, and like I'm pretty fastidious masker. I still mask in places other people don't, but I was really starting to think and I've been in the house when people have had COVID.
Yes, because I mean, poor Kelly Sue. Every time she travels, it feels like she gets COVID.
She's had a bad run of luck, but I was making Monarch. We were during the bad we were
in Japan.
The second day that Japan had opened up its borders again, we were there to or something, just craziness.
Yes.
COVID then led to I wasn't hospitalized with COVID, but the COVID had knocked my immune system down, and I got an opportunistic infection. So I don't know if that counts as comorbidity, but I got an infection in my gut. Basically where your stomach turns into your small intestine, something got there and closed. That was bad. So I had a thing down into my gut, a tube that they were draining. It was a whole it was gnarly. It was really fucking bad. And then afterwards, so that was October. That was the beginning of October. And then afterwards, and like I was on Paxlovid, and COVID felt like a bad flu, not actually the worst flu I'd ever had, but like it was bad. But like I was like, oh yeah, no, this sucks. This isn't
Right.
this
Not
isn't.
fun.
I wasn't one of those people that just like, oh, it was fine. It was like a cold or whatever. But then I had persistent brain fog and fatigue, and my eyes would stop working. Like my eyes would
That's
just,
scary.
I just could not focus visually, literally couldn't focus on
Oh my
anything.
gosh.
And the brain fog, like it took me a week to sign 86 books. A
Oh.
week. I can sign my name on 86 comics without breaking eye contact,
Yeah, I believe
right?
it. Yes.
This is what I
Wow.
do, man. And this like,
Right.
and I had just come out of a month where that was all I did was just meet and sign and Batman all the time, right?
Oh my gosh.
So like it was, but I was starting to have the like, do I have long COVID? Kind of
Yeah.
kind of worry. And like, am I ever going to be able to write again?
Oh
Like
my gosh. That
like
is
I
so
could
scary.
not keep, I just wanted to stare. And I wasn't like I described to my doctor, like it's like depression without depression.
Mm.
Like I just don't want to, I can't do anything. I just lie down
Yeah.
and stare like 12 feet into the distance. And like I played a video game. That was what I did.
Okay.
I could keep my focus on a video game, and it was far enough away that it was like bright enough like I could play a video game.
Okay.
But
Oh,
like I couldn't pay
wow.
attention. I couldn't keep a thought in my head. So I lost all of October and most of November, but then flew to Asheville, North Carolina to do a fundraising event for the Appalachian Comics Project, which I'm a
Mm.
part of, and I've
Yes.
roots in the area of Asheville and Lake Lure, North Carolina, places that were just devastated by the hurricane, and now almost all of the federal money and response is gone. These people have been abandoned. So even though I'd kind of committed to doing the thing before I got sick, I felt too guilty to back out, and like I had to take a red eye to get out there, and I can't sleep. So I've been up, I get out there. I've been up for like a day and a half at this point without sleep. I got a couple of hours before the event, and I crash out at my buddy Andrew's place, at Andrew Iden's place. And when I woke up to go to the event, I was completely drenched in sweat, and everything was better. It just
Wow.
left. It
So
just
you
left.
just like sweated it out.
Yep. And I hadn't. I mean, I felt fine. I didn't feel fevery or achy or sick. Or it
Yeah.
just I couldn't. I sat on the plane and just sort of like, I couldn't.
Oh
I
my
couldn't
gosh.
watch anything. Like I couldn't really watch anything.
And for you, you're the film aficionado. So, I mean, that's got to be a struggle.
It was tough. It was really scary, right? It
Oh
was
my
really,
gosh.
but like, my doctor was like, listen, the recovery window for COVID is 90 days and you're still in the window. So don't start hitting the panic button yet,
Yeah.
right? Just, rest, listen to your body, let your body tell you
90
what to do.
days.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know that I
So we
realized
were
that.
getting up to it, we were getting up to the line, but yeah, so and I was, because I was kind of jet lagged and hadn't slept and was like the whole time at the event, I was like, I think I'm better.
Right.
I
Like, because
don't
there's
like,
like a lift.
yeah, but like I couldn't, like something's different, and I didn't want to like say it or jinx it, and I still sort of like was very like, no, I have the thing and I'm dealing with it, and I didn't want to get excited. I didn't want to like, I didn't even tell Andrew that I felt differently. I just sort
Hmm.
of was like trying to monitor, like, how do I feel?
Mm.
It was just so ambient, right? But then on the flight home, I wrote the entire time and was like, okay, I'm back. All right, it's all, I'm back, and sort
Amazing.
of, and I've been just writing. I mean, I was really far ahead, so it was okay, but I lost a lot of time, and now I've just been cranking, but it's not out of like panic or desperation, but because it's very joyful. I didn't think, I really was trying to think about what I was going to do with my life. Like, how am I going to, what do I do if I can't do this?
Mm.
I couldn't even keep a thought in my head solid enough to like dictate or anything. Like, it wasn't
Hmm.
like, oh, I can't type anymore. It's like my eyes don't work and I can't think,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh my gosh. That is
It's
so
terrifying.
scary.
But now it's back and I sound like old hyper caffeinated me. And all I want to do is write, because it's just, I'm so grateful to be able to do it again, that it's just kind of, I can't do it fast enough.
Wow. Well, that's exciting for us readers.
Yes, there we go. Hopefully it reads on the page. But
I'm pretty sure from everything, all the feedback I've been hearing, you are knocking it out of the park. So, as always, I mean, it's fraction.
Jorge Jimenez and
Oh,
Tommy
of
More,
course.
our team. Jorge is a superstar who is
Hmm.
not even, he's like an F1 racer that's only like I think it's like he's been in third gear, like maybe fourth. It's just like, oh, he just hasn't even hit the levels he's going to hit yet. He's such a genius and I love working with him so much. It's so fun to just write things because I want to see how he's going to draw it.
Yeah.
I have a list of things like I don't even know necessarily how it's going to fit into a story. It's like I think it'd be cool to see Jorge draw this, and like, all right, let's see if I can work that in somehow. Right?
I love it. You're like, let me put my wish list down of
Oh
like
yeah,
some things I would
literally.
love for him to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, these artists. I mean, he's
It's great.
phenomenal always, but
It's great.
it's
And he's very handsome. He's
well,
very
that doesn't hurt either.
no, it's great. But I got to meet him in Spain and spend some time there, and like it was amazing. And he's beloved there, and there was such energy there of like hometown boy does good, but he's just brilliant. And yeah, it's such a joy. It has yet to feel like work. I've been doing it creeping up on 2 years now. That's how long I've been at this, and 4 issues are out, and I've been doing it for almost 2 years, and like it has yet to actually feel like a job. So
That's amazing. And I'm so glad you are okay and that you are feeling better.
I,
And I mean, I knew you were sick, but I thought, okay, oh, now he's better. He's out of the hospital because Kelly Sue would, make
yeah.
updates. I didn't know that I realized it was to that degree. So, oh
Yeah,
my
but like,
gosh.
part of that was just like not panicking, right? And
Yeah, how do
also,
you not panic when it's like, what?
years of therapy, right? Like it was
Yes,
just sort of,
I'm there with you. We talk about this all the time.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah. It was just like,
our
well,
mental
but
health and just being able to kind of be mindful and meditate. And
I couldn't even meditate.
I know because you couldn't
Couldn't even,
think. Yeah, yeah.
but I was aware of like, I was feeling the contours of what the panic would be, but I wasn't letting myself feel it. It was just sort of, I
Okay.
was
Well, so
aware.
then you were there. You were, in
I was certainly aware of how easy it would have been to revert to old
this
behaviors,
in a spiral.
in spiral.
Yeah.
But it was like, nope, it's you're in the window. And I talked to a lot of people that experienced similar. So it
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm
And
not
they
an
got through
outlier.
it. And
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
That's helpful. That's super
and all of them
helpful.
to a person said it just went away. Like it
Wow.
wasn't like I didn't talk to anybody. It doesn't mean that this doesn't exist as a case or whatever, but everyone was like, no, it just stopped. And like, just,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what did it. It just went away. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe it'll just go away. And
Mm-hmm.
until we get to 91 days, there's no reason to freak out
Wow.
because nobody knows anything. And I might as well wait before freaking out.
Yes. Yes. Was everyone else freaking out around you? Because, your family is so close, and I know you guys are very.
So everybody has had COVID multiple times. So
But they didn't have that reaction. Like, it's from what I know, like they've all kind of like,
yeah.
oh, I'm sick
Yeah. I
again.
mean, well, the kids are just like, this, they're like, got mutant healing factors,
Yeah,
they were,
they really do.
they shook it off in like 3 days or whatever. But I think Kel is really good at understanding what the proper time and place for expenditures of those kinds of emotions are. Like she's not
Mm-hmm.
one to hit the panic
Yeah,
button
she's
before
not a
it's,
panicker. Yeah. She does
but
well under stress.
yeah, but also recognizes just like how meaningless and useless and what
Yes.
energy you have. Like this was interesting. It got me back on the treadmill, right? Like
Okay.
because it was I could at least walk, right? And so I would
Right.
walk for like a couple hours or more, just because otherwise everything hurt. But like
Mm.
okay, I can do this. Like I knew that like I'm not going to be couch bound.
Right.
Like my body still works. So it's like I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna fucking work at Costco or go take dishes or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But
I'm
but yeah,
I'm
I
sure
don't
there'll
I
be a lot
don't.
of other things that you would have been able to do, but we are glad you were through it regardless.
I, mean,
Like, so
I
that is
think
that's a blessing.
mostly everybody was just kind of making sure that I had space to be like, oh, I gotta go lie down. Everybody
Hmm.
knew, like, okay, like,
Hmm. Hmm.
but it was the weirdest. Like, I wouldn't sleep. It wasn't like
Yeah.
I was sleepy.
Yeah.
I didn't nap during any of it. Like, I wasn't.
Wow.
It wasn't like I gotta get. It was just like I would just lie there and stare, and I couldn't think. It was just, like,
Oh man, that is so
yeah,
scary, especially
yeah.
when
Even the
you're
raccoons
all
that are
thoughts
constantly
all the
running
time.
around. I'm sorry.
You're all thoughts all the time, so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
that was a different thing.
yeah,
Maybe it
yeah,
was a little break, and now, like you said, you can't write fast enough.
yeah. It was, yeah. Even the raccoons in my brain were a little dazed, and yeah, it was very, very bizarre.
Mm.
But thank goodness it's gone, and I've just
Yes.
had a couple of, and that feeling of like, oh, I'm back. Okay. And then it was Thanksgiving. And then on the other side of Thanksgiving, now it's like, great, here we go. Let's rock
Yes.
and like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you said, it's nice to be ahead. You were ahead in the writing and stuff.
yeah.
And
Now I'm only
of course,
normal. Now
now
I'm
you're
only
only normal. You're like a normal creator or
yeah.
writer.
Well, it was part of the luxury of how our launch ended up working was, I had been working on it for so long
Hmm.
that I had this kind of luxury of like, I built Kelly Sue a bookcase over the summer and didn't write for a couple of months, kinda. Did little things, but like
Okay.
didn't write any new scripts because at that point I think I had 5 done or 6 done, and Jorge
Wow.
had only just started. So it was
Right.
like,
And it takes
cool.
so, I mean, it's such a
But
tedious process for
and all I did was
for that.
just think the entire like I was just writing in my head. So then when it was time, I would sit down and just it was all there. So that was the other thing was like I knew I had them up here somewhere between here and my notebook. I knew I had them. I just couldn't. So like it took a couple of days. I had to like rebuild everything and reread emails and texts to Rob Levin, our editor, and go through my notebooks and like, okay, I think I remember where I was. I think I can. I knew I wrote it once. I can rewrite it. It's all here. I didn't. I know I have it all figured out.
Amazing.
And now I've just kind of plugged in, and it's just like, all right. So
Well, I
two
off
stars for
air
COVID. 2-star
two
review.
star 2 star. I don't I would say even lower than that. No stars. I'm gonna say no stars for COVID. But Batman, on the other hand, is getting 5 stars if
Oh,
that's the ceiling, 5 stars. And I told you off air, I've been so horribly behind on all of my reading, but of course I have, my favorite local comic book store and owners and stuff, and I'm like, hey guys, do you have questions for Matt? Because I'll be talking to him.
oh,
So
great. Oh, great.
I do have actually some Batman stuff, but I did get to at least, flip through and look at the art. So that's
Oh, great.
that's a
Great.
thing. I mean, it's gorgeous. And one of the things that, we were when, I was talking to my friends over at Paper Asylum, shout out to them because we
Hi,
love our
Paper
local
Asylum.
comic
Thank
book
you.
stores. Yes,
Thank
yes,
you for your support.
yes. Of course. But they're really excited because, they kind of mentioned this is the fourth renumbering in the title's 85-year history, and it emphasizes the revival of the blue and gray costume and like new Batmobile, fresh
Mhm,
take on
mhm.
Gotham and things like that. And so I guess one of the questions they had was you brought back that blue and gray, introduced the creeps, inspired, what inspired you to make those choices, and how does it reflect, I guess, your vision of Gotham? Because what I've read and then what they're telling me is like it is like a really kind of fresh take.
I think on some level, it's a little bit like maybe Batman or maybe these comics that we love as kids and sort of continue staying with through adulthood is maybe a little bit like when you first start watching Saturday Night Live. Like you come in and it's pretty cool, and then it gets amazing. And then maybe it changes and it's your thing or it's not your thing or it evolves or it grows and maybe you tune out and maybe you don't, but a thing that made you a fan that you're going to watch for life like that, and that I think there's just some part of me that when I think about Batman, I think about that kind of caped crusader era. He was blue and gray, and the stories were frequently, if not quite self-contained, like it was less serialized, more chapters and less serialization. I don't know if that distinction makes sense, but I wanted to kind of get back to that thing of like over time things will accrue and build, but really each issue kind of has some sort of self-contained beginning, middle, end, story to it that isn't just kind of updating different plot threads or whatever. And it was all about that kind of era where I came in, and the blue and the gray part of it, I think, was like it just everything was kind of black and brown and like everything looked like a dying avocado, and there's a certain cinematic weight, and I understand the vibe and the power of that, and how and why it works, but had spent a lot of time going to a lot of different cities around the world, and I spent a lot of time in Tokyo at night and was struck by how caliber and quality of LED lights as opposed to sodium lighting changes the characteristics of a city at night. That we would be in small little neighborhoods, and I shot a ton of photographs without a flash. There was enough ambient light that just sort of, oh, there's something about where we are now with LED lighting everywhere that like it's changed the character of places at night, and their colors you can only see at night in that kind of low lighting kind of thing. And I wanted to understand why people lived in Gotham City. it's part of it was just my reaction as a reader of just sort of like, it's been so scary and so apocalyptic and overwhelming, and like, the book used to scare my kids when they were little, and like, it bummed me out
It was dark.
that my kids never had a Batman until like Lego Batman couldn't really, and even Lego Batman is making fun of all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
It was never like consciously this. It was just sort of like, this is what feels like Batman to me, because this is the Batman that made me be like, oh right, I fucking love this. This is great.
Yeah.
So, and there was, I'm sure some, oppositional, defiant part of me, something that's just innately obdurate, that was like, everybody's been zigging. I don't want to zag. I want to zog. Like, what's different than let me be different just to be obdurate. But that thought was really the way in, of like, if you're going to make these changes and you want to talk about this stuff, like, how do you do it without just doing it as like, I'm right and everybody else is wrong, and the Batman comics have been hugely successful the last 20 years, it's all wrong. Like, that's not it at all. It was just like, the story I felt and wanted to kind of get into and tell, and the sort of the parts of the character that interested me as a writer, that I want to spend time with, fit into that sort of in ways that I hope will be evident over time as more and more kind of issues come out and stuff like that. But it was mostly just like, I hadn't done ongoing monthly concern in a long time, and like, what would I do to make this a thing that I would want to do and want to spend all this time here? Like, and yeah, it's just been joyful. Everything about it has been joyful and fun, and
I love hearing that, because
anytime,
when I spoke with Kelly Sue, she was like, when he first told me this, I was like, what? You're not going to enjoy Batman. Like, that's not you. Or, you're going to pick up all these pieces. And, there's this weight of so many other storylines and the character itself. And she just wasn't sure it would have been your jam. And it sounds like it's been a joy. Like you said, that's awesome.
Yeah. And, I think I said this last time, like, it was my first conversation with Marie Javins and Rob Levin at DC. It was like, listen, I think people are gonna like this or hate it, and we're gonna know really fast, right? So this might be wrong, right? This might be a take that nobody is interested in, and this, I don't think this is me feeling retro nostalgia. I think this, it's not coming from that place. I don't have interest in that. I want to do my take on Batman. I don't want to do my impression of somebody else's take on Batman, right?
Of course.
I got this thing I want to try, and they were interested enough to see what happened, and the response has been incredible. So I think it's scratching an itch that maybe people didn't realize they had necessarily, based on the magnitude of response, which I was genuinely unprepared for. And like, I know I'm guilty of underselling things to a matter of like a fault, and underplaying things. And I genuinely had no idea how big this was and what it was going to mean.
The reception is huge.
Just the entire month of September felt like being kicked in the head by a horse on a daily basis.
And then there was October.
So, yeah. I literally got.
You literally felt that way, but
yeah, I literally got COVID on September 30th. So.
And then they also mentioned that you're, often on record saying that Batman can be all things to all people, like it, the character itself. And so how do you balance that? Because of course, like what you just mentioned, you're making it your own, you're honoring decades of history, but then also, as you know, because your kids now, I mean, when I first met them, Tallulah was 11. She was playing Stranger Things first season.
Yeah. Okay.
So sure. Like 10 years ago or whatever it was. And she was like tiny, and so like you're making the series for basically also new readers and old readers. Like, do you even think of that as a challenge, or do you just kind of this is my Batman and I write?
Very much so. So there were 84 variant covers all in all, not counting the small preview ash can that they did at San Diego, or the two different treasury editions that are the size of the production art that Jorge draws at, which I didn't know they were doing until like literally the day the book came out. A big box showed up at my house, and I opened it, and there were these giant Batmans in them, and it's great. So Pin and Giant Batmans. It was the first comic I ever read. Batman. It's the reason I'm here.
Yes, I see.
That's the first. That's the first comic book I ever read. It's Batman 316. So there is my own personal experience, but that's anecdotal, for lack of a better word, right? Like my experience is that. But I think not just as a fan, but as a reader, as somebody who thinks about comics a lot, I think the character has lasted this long because it is such an elastic concept that it can be, that you had Zack Snyder's Batman and Lego Batman in theaters within a calendar year of one another says everything. And there was no market confusion. There was no, people weren't confused. Well, is Batman Ben Affleck or is he the voice of Will Arnett? And does he look like a Lego? I can't keep it straight. Like people got it, right? Like the biggest gift of Spider-Verse to storytelling to anybody working in Hollywood is the first line of the first movie, right? Peter Parker, blah, blah, blah. You know the story. Like, yeah, you're right. I do know the story because I've seen 3 Spider-Man 2s at this point. I don't need the origin. I got it, blah, blah, blah. You get it. Now I'm an ice cream stick. Like, oh yeah, people get it, right? And it can be, I mean, right now there's absolute stuff, which is just like Scott at his most Scott. And as I said to him in person, like, dude, more than anybody, you should be sick of this. And you have somehow found a vein. It was like when Bendis came up with Miles Morales. It was a part of coming up with Miles Morales. All credit due to everybody else. But that thing of like, oh, if anyone should be tired of Spider-Man, it was Brian Bendis. And then Miles happened, and he was like, oh no, I can keep going forever, right? Yeah. that Scott has found this new vein that somehow is more Scott than any Scott's Batman that Scott has done before. There's big Tonkatsu series where he's a giant robot, right? There's one where he's like a noir detective, like all at the same time, and everyone like he's a character that can be that constantly chameleon, faceted or whatever. So there's a genuinely a Batman for everybody. So I believe that, there's something, I don't know that it used to be when I worked in retail, like all ages meant for kids, and you weren't supposed to say something was all ages, right? But that, like, I kept thinking about Pixar and like the experience of a Pixar film when I went to go see Up. There was an entire row of adults weeping the first 6 minutes, and all of the kids were looking at us and then looking at each other like, what's going on? Why is everybody crying? Right? Or the Muppet Show, where parents laugh at one kind of joke and the kids laugh like, okay, this can work on levels, and I believe that market is well covered for people of any kind of Batman appetite. That is like, if this is going to be like the mothership Batman book, I want it to be super welcoming. I want it to be a book that would be like Raiders of the Lost Ark scary, not Temple of Doom scary. I want it to be enough for like the kind of thing a kid would want to watch from behind a couch, right? Like Doctor Who used to be.
But wants to watch it.
Right. Scary enough to be scary, but not so much that it would be restrictive or shut people out of the world limit, because I just think the character is so great at onboarding new readers or reintroducing old readers, right? But also, like, it's really hard. And like, I made some other choices for right or for wrong that, like, I've given myself this is, again, unsurprising, I suppose, because if I could just do things easy and shut up and make money, I'd be different, but I can't. So like I've given myself, I took a lot of tools out of the toolbox, right? And so I have to kind of figure out these things, but it all kind of, I realized, came out of the desire to do a superhero forward Batman, not only because I missed it and hadn't seen it in a while, but because it was exciting and challenging to me as a writer. And I knew Jorge would kill it. I knew Jorge would absolutely kill it. And I wanted to see that and what it looked like. And so it was like, yeah, let's talk about colors at night. Let's talk about why people love Gotham. Let's make the world real and understandable and gettable. And all of it kind of came out of, like I said, the thing about the character that I want to interrogate. And it's been a blast. Like, yeah, I wanted to make a Batman book that appealed to everyone, or could possibly appeal to everyone, and that could onboard kids. So I get these giant Batman books, and I didn't know they were happening. I didn't know they were coming out. I brought them with me to Rose City Con out here, right? And that was the weekend that Batman came out. So it was the first convention I had done in 5 years. It's kicking off this whole month of conventions and press stuff around the launch of the book. And the first time, like, an 8 or 9-year-old Batman super fan came up to me, with his parents and everything. I was like, hang on, I got a book for you. And I went and I just grabbed one of the big ones, and like, I got really good. I do a dumb drawing of Batman and drew it on there for him, wrote it in, but like, this is for you, right? Because one day you're going to have my job, because once upon a time I was you, and now I'm me. Like, I started off as the Batman kid, and now I'm here. So listen, I'm going to keep the seat warm for you. This is, and so, like, I've only given the books to kids, and like, to a kid, everyone sees them, they're just like, whoa. I mean,
because it's like the size of them.
It's huge to me, but like, just to see a kid, and like, it has been awesome to see kids respond to the power of comics It's like, seeing a movie in IMAX or whatever. It's just like,
Yes, yes.
so that's been really fulfilling, but also then again, like that, so that selling as well as it is, but that things I heard all month, like literally around the world at these different conventions and signing events, it was hitting people in all kinds of ways. And
Yeah.
I hadn't heard, I mean, like, it's not like I go looking for it, but if not, I don't think anybody feels denied anything, because again, there are more intense or more visceral, more adult versions of Batman out there. There's more this or more that out there actively being published as we speak. Dan Waters and Hayden Sherman did this astonishing series last year called Batman Dark Patterns. It's one of my favorite Batman stories in years. And it's very different than the stuff that we're doing. And like, it's fucking great. It's fucking incredible. And I love, like, this is case in point, right? Like this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like that and absolute, like, it's a strong, there's a lot of different flavors out there right now of the character. And I just wanted to spend time with my favorite flavor. And that's kind of a very long answer.
I know, but I think it's showing though, right? Like it's showing through the work. Like when you are enjoying something, then the product of that enjoyment is really clear on the page. I mean, and of course working with Jorge, like you said, I know like that first issue, that number one, like just that cover, it's so fascinating to me because I can't draw. Even your what you quote unquote call your dumb Batman drawing is only like 1,000 jillion times better than anything I could possibly draw. But like there's this really great complexity yet simplicity to that cover. Like it's not distracting. There isn't all this stuff happening, but it feels like there's so much depth there. And I'm like, man, it can kind of give me chills because I was like, oh gosh, I need to catch up on my stuff. I'm like, let me order all the things. And I was like, ooh, this is, it was really exciting to see. So you must have been like, thank you. You hit everything that was in my brain coming out when you collaborate with someone like that.
Yeah, it has been a joy. And I think I'm getting better at writing for him every single issue. In fact, because I had this gift of time, I wrote, I don't remember if we talked about this last time. If we did, podcast listeners, viewers, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself.
Oh no, it's fine. It's
but
been
like
a while.
I wrote an entire first issue. I wrote issue 1, 2, and 3, and then I threw out an entire first issue and rewrote it. I had 4, 5, and 6, and then I stopped and rebroke them, wrote new things, kicked other scenes out. Everything eventually has found its place. But like I tore up 3 issues and rebuilt them because Jorge had started to draw. And I was seeing, okay, I need to do that, right? Like I had sort of the disadvantage of being so far ahead was like, I was still guessing what Jorge was going to do. And once I started to see, I started to feel like, I can make this better. I can make this stronger. And we were so far ahead, it was fine. I was able to do that. And Rob, bless his heart, was like, if you think that's what you got to do, okay. Like, and I did. And I think it made the book stronger for it, right? And I love writing for him. And I love not knowing how he's going to do a thing, but knowing it's going to be better than anything I could think of. So I just try to give him as much and as little, right? Like I don't like sort of, there's a weird, it's like I got to describe a shape.
Right, but the balance, you can't over describe it because you want him to not be.
But also to his credit, he'll be like, no, this is better. I'm like, oh, okay, great, you're right.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
I have no ego in it. I have no,
well, of course not.
He's very, and part of it, like he is he's good and he's fast and he's kind, right? Like it's this, like, how did we get all 3? Like he's a 5-tool player, but like, nothing, he draws so kinetically and there's such energy and vigor. Like it's really considered. He really thinks about this shit, and nothing's by accident. He doesn't just toss a thing off. Like he's thought about it in so many ways, and like he knows how to do what he does. And like, oh great, like I trust you. Okay, cool. Whether that's how a page is broken out or how he stages something, or even in like character design. There was a note, a little note about a character design, like about a hair choice. And he wrote back this really thoughtful, like, no, it's this and it's this, and it's this because of this and this and this, and this reflects this. And I thought about it and I wanted to, blah, 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 blah. And it was just sort of like, oh my God, it was just like, it wasn't just, and nothing's by accident, right? Like he just, but
intentional.
It is so alive and vital. It can feel almost like it's automatic or something. It's like, no, man, he really thinks about this shit. And is so deliberate, and it's my favorite kind of thing, right? He works really hard at making it look like he's not working at all.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's effortless. It's like, no, it is a lot of effort, and he's really good at making it seem you don't see the work that goes into
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
but you feel it, right?
Yes, 100%. Well, I mean, kudos to you both. Congrats to you both because it's, not only well received, but I know it's going to continue to just keep snowballing and becoming even bigger and better.
Yeah.
And we're all excited for
Well, I
that.
hope
So,
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
oh my goodness.
I'm gonna be closing out what will end up being the first year of stuff before the holiday, and have the second. It's the second year all figured out, and know what will come beyond that. And it's like I just can't wait to get to it. Like there's not enough hours in the day.
Oh
I
my
would
gosh.
just I just I'm just I and part of it I know is just being afraid that I wasn't ever gonna be able to do it again. But like,
Mhm.
April will be 2 years since I pitched the book, and like I said, it is yet to feel like a job. So
Amazing.
that's and even my best experiences haven't had that kind of track record. So
Yeah. Wow. That says a lot. That says a lot. And last time we did also speak about, and I had my like Godzilla shirt on,
oh
and
yeah,
and I've been really missing Monarch Legacy of Monsters, and I'm like, when is that? And I think it's in a couple months, yes?
yeah, I think so. So I left the show
Yes.
for the second season. I was there in the
Yes.
writers'
In the
room
first one, yeah.
for most of season two, and left as we were getting to kind of brass tacks on things. But Chris Black, my co-creator, and it's in great hands. And
Hmm.
yeah, I know a lot, but I don't know everything because
Yeah.
stuff did change after. So like it's going to be
So
really
you're gonna
interesting
get to
for
watch
that.
it like with
Brand new, yeah,
like us, like
yeah,
us mere
a little bit,
mortals.
yeah, a little
A
anyway.
little bit,
But
a little bit. Oh my goodness.
yeah,
And
it's pretty cool. It's pretty.
so
There's a
when
bunch of shit coming. It's really cool.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. I really enjoyed that first season. I mean, it was so much fun as we spoke about on our last episode. But of course, I'm always curious because you writers are so incredible. You can like switch gears like there's no tomorrow. And I know you mentioned Adventure Man isn't like it's ongoing, but it's not
Right.
like every month or anything.
Yeah.
But even so, like your ability to just go, okay, now I'm gonna put Batman down and move on to
Right.
this. And like, is that just a matter of discipline, or do you have to be in a certain zone or mood or something like that, or it's just by now as well you've been doing that one for, was it like 5 years or something
Oh, even I mean
longer?
longer, and just in terms of how long it took us to kind of plan it and stuff. But
Okay.
part of it is by necessity. I'm alcoholic and drug addict in recovery. When I get bored, I
Mhm.
get in trouble. So
Mhm.
it was never a conscious decision, but as my career started to happen and I started to take on more projects, my instinct was always to make something different than everything else, right? That it was some kind of like creative cross training so that I wouldn't get bored. And when things are going well and I'm ahead on stuff, Tuesday doesn't have to be leg day. If I want it to be cardio day, I can just do cardio, right? So part of it is what tree do I want to bark up today? But I need different kinds of trees. Otherwise I just get bored. And when I get bored, I think the writing gets bad.
So you like having multiple projects
Well, I
or
like having
multiple things to choose
different. I like having different
different?
projects, and sort of the joy of Adventure Man is everything is different issue to issue. We'll conceive of and design and build out an entire world for a few pages. And I
Mhm.
don't know we're ever going to get back there again. We'll see.
Yeah.
Or like I watched this movie Horror Express with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, and like it all took place on like a train, on like a kind of a Trans-Siberian Railroad sort
Mhm.
of old like luxury kind of train. I was like, oh, it'd be cool to do something on a train. So I wrote a scene that happened on a train. Like I don't know where the train was going or why or if we're ever going to get
Yeah,
back there. It was just that kind of what interests me today, right? I was
I see.
watching a bunch of Mexican wrestling movies and
Of
Santo
course you were.
the Santo movies, and so we brought in a sort of luchador family and all that kind of stuff. Like it's Adventure Man's great, and Terry and I have it's similar to my Jorge wish list. We have a big list of things that'd be cool. Like, what if we did this? What if we did that? We were trying to get to this water. We did an issue that was largely set on water and underwater, and sort of like we'd been trying to get to that forever. So like, we did a dog fighting issue. Like, great, this one's on all airplanes, right? So So, my process with Adventure Man is I always am convinced that I forgot everything I was going to do and that I don't know how to do it and it's going to be terrible. And oh my God, what a mess I've made. And I have to try and get this over with as quickly and with as much dignity as possible. And pray Terry will forgive me. And then I write it and immediately I'm like, oh my God, I forgot this is the most fun book ever. This is the greatest thing. And yeah, so I always have this, oh my God, oh right. This is the best thing in the world.
It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, and we getting back to that in the spring. And like this last time, it was right after I had left Monarch, but I had space and time, right? Like the thing about I've discovered about like writing and producing television is it's like floodwater. Like it just takes every inch of time it can find, right? But suddenly I had all of the time back, and like I wrote the family tree cycle like back to back to back, and it was just so fun to be in a different milieu because I kind of hadn't written too many. I had only written Adventure Man pretty much during Monarch's production, but it's I would write it and Terry would sort of draw, and it takes the time that it takes. And this chance, and this Terry was getting ready to his schedules open up, and he was ready for Adventure Man, and I was just like, oh right, and it was just such a 1, 2, and 3 sort of boom, boom, boom. So he had the whole thing in front of him, which I think he really enjoys. I think he somehow works faster,
right,
knowing where he's going and what's coming. Even if it in a book like Adventure Man where you got to reinvent everything every 20 pages. So yeah, we'll be kicking that up again here soon. Actually, I just got my comps, The Family Tree, the 4th hardcover. It's gorgeous. It remains the most beautiful books and collections I've ever been a part of. And now we're out in trade too for people who want to get in and sort of get caught up and stuff. And if it turns out to be like our Hellboy and it's just a thing that we can do intermittently as time, space, and willpower allows, like awesome. Like I think we would do it forever. Not to speak for Terry, but I feel like we would both do this book until they made us stop.
Oh, cool.
It's just joy. It's just absolute joy. I'm trying to then take that same energy to Batman of like, it can be this, it can be this, it can be this, right? That's the point of the character. So.
Yes. I think that it's so awesome to see how happy you are. It's infectious. So I'm really excited for you. Great. But I used
to be bad infectious. So I'm
not since I've known you. I've only known the good infectious, Matt. So. Yeah. So I'm grateful. I also wanted to congratulate you and Kelly Sue because I saw that were you in Spain for your anniversary?
Yes.
It's been, is it 23 years of marriage or longer together, I think, but 20.
Yeah. We got married in 2002. Okay. So yeah, it was our 23rd anniversary. Yeah. We didn't do much for 20. I may have been in Vancouver for that. That may have been the Monarch year.
Okay.
And just but we had this opportunity, and so I've always been like, if I do shows in Asia or go to Asia, I'm a rock star. Like get me in Japan, Singapore, anywhere on the Pacific Rim, and I'm first awake and I'm last in bed. It was great shooting everybody, in Tokyo, because I was like, awesome, great, let's rock and roll. I was energized by it. I go east, I go to Europe, and I just turn into an old man and I fall asleep in my sleep.
You're like senior citizen.
Like 4:45. I'm like, good night. So, but we went out with enough time to like adjust and then stayed a little extra. So we had this it was lovely. It was kind of like the first vacation we had like ever taken, like since our honeymoon, pretty much. That was like,
oh my gosh, you are so overdue.
Us. Like just us, like no kids, no.
Right.
We'd done all kinds of trips with the kids, but as you know, that's not really a vacation. That is parenting in the wild, right?
Correct.
It was the first time we had been a thing that was just her and I, with enough time that it wasn't like, we're here, we're doing a convention, we're getting on a plane, we're going home,
Yeah, so you had a little downtime.
We had it was gorgeous. It's just incredible.
Oh my gosh, the food is so great there. The people, amazing. The culture, the architecture. I love it. When I saw that you guys were there, I was so excited for you. I was like, oh my gosh, I love it there. That's so amazing.
Yeah, we were in Malaga, which I'd never been to, but it's, we'd been to Barcelona before.
Yes.
Malaga's on the south. It's on the water, and like the quality of light is really hard to describe, but it's like it's magic hour all the time. Like it has this golden.
Yeah, it feels like the desert, but it's not. It's like weird. Yes.
We just sit and look at the light move across buildings. I kept trying to capture it. I couldn't quite get it on film, as it were. But like just the quality of light was so incredible. Yeah, I loved it there. I would go back. Yeah, we want to go back and we want to like go into country and sort of visit outside of Malaga, all the different places, and
Hmm.
all of our friends were giving us, okay, you got to go here, you got to go here.
Yeah,
There's a
I know. That's the thing. It's such an amazing country. We love it so so much. And then of course I'm really lucky because Oscar's fluent in Spanish. So it makes it really smooth. It makes the trips really smooth. But I was gonna say, you said you turn into a pumpkin, but like they eat at like 9:30 at night. Like that's
oh
their
yeah,
dinner time. And I'm like, whoa, that's my bedtime.
that helped a lot too, right? Like it wasn't crazy to just go at 4 o'clock. I'm like, gonna take a nap because
Yes.
everyone's meeting for dinner at 9:30,
Yes,
10
yes,
or
you
11
gotta
or whatever.
rally. You really gotta rally. We had a really lovely dinner in actually it was in Barcelona, and the earliest reservation I could get was like 9:15, and it was amazing food. It was fantastic. It was one of those, many course meals.
Two and a
And by
half
the
hour meal.
end, we were just like in our chairs, and they're like, and now we're going to go out to the balcony for our, petite fours, and so, we're like, no more. No, it was like 12:30 at night. I was like, I cannot eat anymore. I am so tired. But it's like, those one of those meals I'm like, I'm paying for this and I want to eat every morsel. But we had to cut it off. Like we can't we can't go to the patio. We gotta leave. We're done.
And I
It's
don't know,
eat so late.
maybe it's American brain too, but like you never think
Yeah.
like, oh, look at these little, it's tapas. It's
Yeah.
snacks. How can it fill me up? I can eat anything. It's just little things. How can that work? And then suddenly you're like, full of ham and I'm
Yeah,
dying.
yes, the ham. Oh my God. I very,
It
oh
was
my
great.
God.
It was great. I
Oh,
loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. Just
yes.
and it was energizing, right? And that was kind of the bummer about getting sick, was like
I
it was
know.
so, like my wife and I like to work. It's nice. Like
Hmm.
it's not a terrible day for us to open the windows and let the ocean air blow through the hotel room and work in our notebooks for a day. Like that's great. That's awesome for us. Like
Yeah.
that's fun. But like we were both like just so, it was so energizing and creatively restorative. So the crazy thing was, like getting on the plane and like I was so ready to explode and get back to work. So I just sort of spent this amazing 10 or 11 days, ever 12 days, whatever it was, like just recharging my batteries.
Hmm.
And then, everything was like, no. So, so maybe that's part of my exuberance at the moment, was just getting so excited by Spain, and then having to stifle it until my brain was ready to come back online again.
I guess so. But either way, I'm glad you're back online because
Yeah. Yeah.
that's super scary. And then I mean, pretty much you guys have regular holiday stuff. Are you guys, is it the Fractions, the Bendis
Yeah.
family, you guys
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
always
No,
doing
we
the fun things. I know Halloween's a big deal. I've seen you guys go all out.
yeah.
And I've been to
Yeah.
your house. I mean, your house kind of looks like you've got like a mascot there all year round for Halloween.
Yeah. 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 It's as our kids are older and they've got their kind of friend groups,
Hmm.
they are here less and less, and they are doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? And going out in the world. So the sort of like, we've got to put on a show for the kids thing has kind of
Yeah.
ebbed in years, just not just because they're like, this Halloween, like everybody went over to their friends' houses and went to Halloween
Yeah.
parties or whatever. Like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, right. I guess you're not 9 anymore, right? Um, but yeah, no, we're here, we have, my mom and Kel's dad here, and we've got, friends that
Yeah.
that come, and it's very, everybody, it's very casual. It's I suspect we'll be working like lunatics until the 24th. And then like our both of us, like our favorite week of the year is the week between Christmas and New Year, where like everything's closed and you get to like
Yes.
take stock of what happened and what's coming up and what you would change and what worked, what didn't, what you want to get done. Like I think we're both looking forward to that week. And again, it's weird having teenagers because they just go places and do things. They don't
Yes.
need us anymore. It's
Yes. That level of independence is like, and then you guys, like you said, you went on this trip together. You're like, wait, what? It's just us. I'm not like
yeah,
accountable for,
it was very
the
strange. It was
kids.
very, very strange.
Yes. Well, there'll be more of that in a positive way, of
Oh
course.
yeah,
It'll
yeah.
be
No,
really
that's
nice.
I think that's another thing about 50 was just by happenstance. My son is now a senior in high
Mm-hmm.
school, and we're looking at colleges and doing all that stuff. And so like the idea of like this presence that's been constant is going to go away soon is intense, right? And Tallulah's
Mm-hmm.
2 years behind him. She's
Yes.
and it's just like, oh shit, everything's going to change so crazily in a few
Yes.
years that the kind of the chaos of parenting, the sort of the cadence of no cadence, right? The
Mm-hmm.
everything's things normalize and then and then it changes, right? That's sort of, oh, the only constant is there's nothing constant is gonna stop in like
Yeah.
3 years. It's like, what are we gonna do? Like, oh my God, what is
You're
what
going
is
back to Spain, obviously, and
oh,
exploring
oh,
the
a
country.
1,000%. But like, but that
We're
feeling,
coming, by the way.
great, we'll see you there. I'll be
I'm
the guy
always
with a
there.
fistful of ham and another fistful of
Yes,
gelato,
we're gonna get along just fine.
just housing fucking, yeah, no, like that's so that not only the awareness of the empty nest is imminent
Yes,
in
yes,
in a way that always felt
imminent.
abstract and like, well, in the far future of like 2017 when we're all wearing velour suits and rocket cars, like, no, it just feels like, oh fuck no, it's like things are going to change again in a really big way, and like, and I'm going to miss it. Like, it bums me out. I
Of
love being
course, of
I love being
course.
an everyday dad. Like, I
I
love my kids and I
know.
love doing this, and like, oh fuck, what
You can
what's it?
borrow some of Brian's kids if you need to fill some
Yeah,
time.
yeah, we got
But his
yeah, well,
kids are
yeah, we'll
grown
have
up too, but
London.
still, he has some
Yeah,
younger ones,
yeah,
right?
it's just, yeah, but like not for long. Like
Exactly. It goes
Taba
so
will
quick. I
go and
mean, they're all like hanging out at I remember the first time I met them, they were all in a little gang. It was like, whoo.
yeah, yeah,
It
we
was like
were
they're
we
all
were
running
all
around.
this big weird family circus for a while, and now it's starting to change, and like that's, so part of it was just like, it's just, I know it's gonna hurt. I know it's gonna be sad. I mean, it's gonna be amazing, and it's what you want for your kids. And I can't,
Mhm.
you give them roots and you give them wings, and now it's time
Yeah.
for them to use the wings, and like, oh God, it's gonna fucking suck on so many levels. Like,
Mhm.
there's just part of it is that like, I can't believe it's here. I can't believe it's real. I can't believe that these are like young adults now, right?
I
Like,
know. Well, I mean, and I hope it's okay to share, but like when Kelly Sue sent Tallulah playing the guitar and singing her heart out, it was just I was like, this is the little girl that I met last year. Like it feels like it was yesterday and
oh
she's
yeah,
just this grown woman. I'm like, what is happening? She's
we
amazing.
we both, I don't know what got Kelly Sue started last night, but she was looking for an old photograph, and the two of us spent an hour going through going through old pictures, and like,
Yes.
I don't know, it's a wonderful life. That's how I
It,
feel. I feel a lot of
it truly
I feel a lot of gratitude is what I feel. I
yeah.
feel very thankful and grateful to not be in a hospital and to be 50 and to have the life I have is pretty sweet and pretty remarkable. So yeah, so it's who knows, but yeah, I don't know. The next adventure is on the horizon, and it's weird to think about.
Yeah. Well, I'm
And all the
excited
time, all
and
the years, like years of like resenting having to get up at 5:30 in the
I know.
morning, do
Well,
this.
even we would schedule, you're like, I got to drop the kids. I got to take the kids here. And like when scheduling with you guys is always around their schedule.
Just, yeah, of course, right. And like, we get pets, and like, God, there's so much. Like, I've touched so many butts and so much poop. Like, I can't wait. And like, oh, and it's this and it's that and all and just like, and you would think like, oh, and then one day it'll the empty nest. Oh, it'll be just the two of us again. And we'll be that, and now I'm like, no, no, I can't
Oh,
leave. They're tiny. You're
it's
still,
okay, but they'll come back.
of course, yeah, no, but
They'll
and
come
I'm
back
excited.
and maybe bring other tiny humans at some point. So, you know.
I'm so thrilled to see the young people my young people are becoming. It's such
Yeah.
a joy that like
Well, you guys have
I
done an
selfishly don't
amazing
want to share them
job.
with the world.
I know, but this is what happens when these two beautiful, creative, amazing minds come together and then create these other two incredible humans. I mean, you're gonna have to share. They have a lot of talent that we
Yeah,
need to be
no,
exposed to as well.
the two of them, I don't know what they're gonna do, but ain't nobody's ever done it before. I can promise.
Oh my gosh. Well, I know you are dying to get back to writing because
Kind of
it's
am.
like
I had a
your
really good
hands
idea.
are like, you're like, I have a good, I can see it. I can feel it. I feel the matte energy, the fraction energy coming out. So I
I
don't
had a
want to
really
keep you
good
much
idea this morning.
longer.
I figured out how to make a thing better I was going to do. Like I really
Oh, okay. Well, I do not want to hold you up from that. My listeners and your fans will be mad at me. So it is such a pleasure to always catch up with you,
you too.
and thank you for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedule. It's awesome to see
It's
you.
always a joy. And it's yeah, I did a lot of these in September and
Yes.
was certainly tired of the sound of my own voice, and now I'm just happy that anybody wants to listen again. So
Oh, please.
thank you. So thank you again for having me.
Anytime, anytime. Matt Fraction, everybody. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to The Sifu Mimi Chan Show. Please subscribe and rate my podcast on your platform of choice and leave a review. You can become a patron of the show at patreon.com/SifuMimiChan to help keep this podcast going. Follow me and interact on social media at Sifu Mimi Chan on Instagram or Facebook.